So
Kenneth.
Interesting is the word because we have a trade up with Chicago to the first pick. We got the Colts trading up and selecting Bryce Young with the first pick. So that's interesting. Top 4, 5, 6. Let's do that.
But Cookies told me he was 5'10", and he's not that great.
Evidently, the Colts didn't think so.
Yeah.
Listen, you're basically drafting a different version of Tua. His skills are intelligence and anticipation. He's able to throw guys open. He reads defenses like nobody else in the draft. The downside, look, he's tiny. But, I don't know. Drew Brees seemed to work out. Kyler Murray's not bad because he's small. He's bad because he's an ass. So I wouldn't overthink it.
So the next is semi-predictable. Houston will take C.J. Stroud at 2. Will Anderson goes to the Cardinals at 3.
See, I don't think the Cardinals are making that pick. I'll just say it right now.
Is this breaking news?
Their quarterback's
You know
dead
something?
for the season. They're rebuilding. They need picks. It doesn't add up to select someone there.
And the Raiders have traded with Chicago. Again, Chicago trades down. The Raiders pick at 4, and they will take Anthony Richardson, which you could call a reach.
It's the most Raider thing ever. Rico, you tell me.
No, that's...
Do you think Anthony Richardson by draft day goes in the top 5?
Yes, I do, because I think that it's what I'm hoping if he was there at 6 that the Raiders will say, hey, Lions, you want to swap picks, and Lions get extra picks. But, yeah, the Raiders, after the first 2 QBs are gone, are not going to sit back and take a chance that Seattle or Detroit could take their guy.
Skip down to the Lions pick. This one written by Gator McShay.
Well, who's Seattle take?
Seattle takes Tyree Wilson.
That's my guy, Texas Tech.
There's some juice near the bottom. We'll get to it.
Well, you do realize who's still available.
I do realize. We'll get to it. Don't worry. At 6, the Lions from Gator McShay will take Christian Gonzalez, corner from Oregon.
My head would explode, and Rico's doing a solo show.
No, Kenny.
It's
Kenny
absurd.
and David. Because
It would be
absurd.
Yeah, no. Corner at 6 is not my favorite movie.
Jazzy Cat in the Cone.
Jazzy Cat in the Cone. We skip down to number 8 because this involves a show bet that is currently active. At 8, the Atlanta Falcons take Nolan Smith in the top 10. Not even the top 15, the top 10.
I think he's climbing up draft charts based off of what he did. Now he goes to Atlanta's pro day, and Alabama's pro day and blows up there. Georgia. He blows up, then he's going to be a top 10 pick, Mike. He's gonna keep rising and rising and rising.
Good. Let somebody waste a top 10 pick on him.
And
a nice player, but that's ridiculous.
At number 9, the Carolina Panthers selecting their quarterback, Will Levis.
Doesn't that feel like a bit of a booby prize? Like it just feels like nobody wants Will Levis.
Yep. You opened up the cooler, you looked inside, and it was just that Fago.
Will Levis.
Yeah, it was Fago Cola. Sure. I'm thirsty. I'll take it.
Rico, I still haven't said that name you were talking about, but we'll get to it. Bijan Robinson at 10, selected by the Eagles. Yes, the guys that we're thinking of still not in the top 10 have been picked.
Well, I told you, history says you fall an average of 15 slots if you get caught up in any type of legal trouble.
Cool. Taking a running back in the top 10 is absolute idiocy.
Bijan Robinson or Nolan Smith, which one is more malfeasance to you?
Oh, Bijan. Because at least I could re-sign Nolan Smith justifiably. There's no scenario I'd re-sign Bijan in 5 years. None. Because by that point, you're going to have to pay him $20 million a year. And what do we not do on this show, Kenny?
We do not pay running backs.
And
falling to number 12, all the way out of the top 10 to the Houston Texans goes Jalen Carter, defensive tackle from Georgia.
It's a steal. Unless more comes out or unless additional charges come out, I think this is ridiculous.
C.J. Stroud and Jalen Carter, you literally locked up 2 top 5 picks. And you didn't have to trade. You didn't have to move. You didn't have to do anything.
Yeah, that's how you win.
I think this move is very Patriots because at Patriots number 14, they select Quentin Johnston. I think he'll just work out there. He'll be one of the receivers that just magically has a career in New England.
I don't. Go back and look at the Patriots' history drafting wide receivers. Yeah. It's a death sentence. Serious, Kenny, go look through Brady's career even. They used first-round picks on receivers. It is a death sentence,
including
as
the
a
kid,
wideout to go to New England.
Yeah, the kid from Arizona State. I can't think of his name.
That'd be N'Keal Harry.
Yeah.
How about the venerable Chad Jackson, first-round pick out of Florida? Oh, I got $1 million. It's a death sentence. They do better when they find a guy who runs a recycling center who used to play lacrosse.
Mm-hmm.
And shout out to David, number 17. His Pittsburgh Steelers select Emmanuel Forbes, corner from Mississippi State.
Don't care. Next.
All right. 18, the Lions will select Lucas Van Ness, defensive end, Iowa. I like that pick.
I know one caller is just jumping up and down if that happens.
No, and here's why. Because they took a guy that he saw in a mock draft. This is confirmation bias. You start to believe that this is the player they should take because you've seen it in writing.
Well, I didn't even want to say that because, when he was on the call, he was like, well, from everything that I've read, it's like he played in the Big Ten. Just turn on the Big Ten Network. You can watch him play.
And it's not to say he's not a good player. But when you attach yourself to players you've seen in mocks, it's a big
You end
mistake
up taking Gonzalez at pick 6.
Oh, boy.
Miles Murphy falling to 20 to the Seattle Seahawks. I thought he'd be picked a little higher than that, to be honest.
Yeah, who did Miles Murphy kill? What happened to Miles Murphy? The guy was going to be a top 5 pick, and now everywhere the guy's allegedly falling. What did he do? Did he kill somebody?
No, it's the guy. Some guys rise, Mike. Some guys fall. You know that. It makes no sense.
Where's my guy Drew Sanders from Arkansas, linebacker, freak show?
We'll find that in a second. Does not
No worries.
appear. And I don't think he's in. It actually does not look like he's in the first round.
Well, that's ridiculous, but carry on.
22, Baltimore will select Jackson Smith and Jigba. And
Total death sentence. That poor kid. Yeah, let's go to Baltimore. We got no quarterback, no offense, no life. Fabulous.
Will he have more yards at Ohio State last year or Baltimore next year?
And lastly, Mike, for your New York Giants, they select Zay Flowers, Boston College wide receiver.
Awesome. 5'10" receiver from a team that didn't throw the ball. Fun. I mean, look, Zay's a talented player, but I'm not a big fan of taking tiny wide receivers in the first round. If you're going to use I'm with, like, Rico's view on corners is me with wide receivers. There's a zillion wide receivers. If I am sinking first round equity into you and you got a 5 in front of your name for height, you better be the greatest route runner in the history of the planet. Mm-hmm. I don't like doing it.
No, there's probably only 3 receivers that I would even think about taking. He's not one. I'm with you. Receivers are just
He's
a
playmaker,
diamond.
Rico. He is, but it's just I don't love it. There are other ways they could go, but this is not a Giant show, so I'll leave it alone.
No, because you guys need that guy. He's a good number 2. He's a good number 3. But yeah, to be your number 1 receiver, you won't be happy.
And that is your McShay mock draft blitz.